Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Junkyard Digs. Today, a $500 Facebook Marketplace extravaganza. We've done tractors, we've done trucks, we've done cars, we've done go-karts. We haven't done any boats. I think it's about time.
Is it a boat time?
Oh, get out. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a... Ryan, what the hell is this?
It's a 77 Century Arabian.
We have one of those. Popped up on Marketplace for 500 bucks. I know very little about boats. I know even less about whatever the hell's in front of me right now, because this thing seems a little unique, especially with what's in the back. That right there is a big block Mopar. I don't know if we can see anything down here, but right about there somewhere is a 440 in the casting number, so that is a 440 big block. This thing is very unique. I see the drive is in front of the motor, which I'm not used to seeing. We've got a prop way up under there instead of, okay, that's what's going on. It's not a normal drive system that is an inboard motor that hangs out the back, but rather a literal prop shaft, like a big boat stuff. This thing's heavy.
Does that trailer have brakes on it?
It does. Ooh. It did. Get this show on the road. And this thing is nice inside. I think next stop is Menards for a new tarp to cover it all up. First time it's coming out of the hole in, what do you say, like 3 years?
Boat.
Okay, well, we passed the first cop. We haven't been pulled over, so far so good. In other news, the brand new tire I got looks like it has half the air pressure it's supposed to, and either the rim is bent or the spindle's bent, because it's back there like... It's kind of a heavy son of a bitch, but it's towing good. Got about 30 miles left to home, so we'll just finish that off and see you guys when we're there. Get back to turning wrenches and see if we can bring a big block back to life. Alright, and with that, the Century Arabian 1977 year model has arrived home. And it's time to see if we can get the sumbitch up and running. Also, let's climb inside of it for the first time. Not even entirely sure how to do that. You know what? I guess this thing is a step, maybe? Oh, I just dive onto this like a bed. Got it. Huzzah! That might actually be the answer. Okay, I wasn't graceful, but I'm here. We've got ourselves a big ol' mirror right there. That's nice. That's real nice. We've got two captain's chairs that should swivel. Yes, perfect. A little bit of stuff back here that needs cleaned out. Walking around feels really solid. I'm assuming this is all fiberglass, but this like wood crating in the middle here isn't even that bad. Good bit of crap down there that needs cleaned. You can see all the water coming out of my seat. That's fun. Supposedly this boat needs a steering cable and the fuel tank cleaned. Oh my gosh. Mook.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
We got a courtesy light there. Some spinkers. Which means there's probably a radio and it's probably in here. Mook, look. An 8-track.
Oh my gosh.
We finally got something with an 8-track player that might work. We've got this beautiful steering wheel. Oh, I don't fit in it. This thing is 19 feet long, and I don't fit unless I'm like this, which is probably how you would actually drive if you're pulling a skier. Makes sense. Speedometer goes to 65, the RPM goes to 6. I doubt we'll see either of those numbers. The engine only has 260 hours on it, or the boat only has 260 hours on it, so it's really a very fresh boat. There's our V drive. That's our transmission. The engine faces backwards, with the water pump on the engine's that way. And then it outputs forward into that drive and then down into the prop. I have been doing a little research on these during lunch today, and from what I've read, this is actually a somewhat valuable boat if it's in good shape. It's in okay shape, so it's probably around the price point we paid, but maybe we can fix that. I don't know. One thing's for sure, I want to get it back out on the water. I don't think it's quite to the point of tearing the engine out and throwing the rest away like we initially intended. This thing's actually pretty good. What do you say we throw a battery in it and see what works, Mook?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Be gone.
Oh.
Oh. It's fine. It's a water-cooled battery now. Damn it. Maybe if I just... Okay. That's better. So, reading online about the 440 marine motors, I knew I should be able to find some good info on those. The marine motors, I don't know if this will spin the same direction or not since it's a V-drive. It might spin backwards, I have no idea. Supposedly they should have a forged crank, a different cam, maybe different valve springs. This, for all intents and purposes, should be a 330 horsepower 440 big block Mopar. Oh, the voltmeter moves.
That moved, yep.
Oh.
Oh, it's stuck.
Well, the horn works, so we got the important stuff out of the way. Tap the key, let's see what happens.
Nothing.
This is a Presto Light alternator, fun side fact. That's the company that invented acetylene-fueled lights for cars, and then later went on to become one of the largest automotive companies ever. Now they own Holley, who themselves own like 50 or 60 companies. If you want to learn more about that, you can actually check them out on Brian Lone's podcast, the Lucore Automotive podcast. There's an excellent episode on the Presto Light company and the history of explosions and stuff with their factories. Oh God, really glad we have this, I'll say that much. We've got a Ford style solenoid, which in theory, if I touch this right here, we should get some cranking action if our motor spins. Let's find out. Well, she's not seized, but she may be a little tight, or my battery might be a little low. I don't know. Alright, so I've been playing with stuff for a little bit. Up here, still got no electrical power, but you'll notice the voltmeter comes on, which gave me the idea of maybe just enough stuff is working. And sure enough, you see right there, my test light is lit up and it is hooked up to the coil. So we should have power to the coil, which means if this electronic ignition is working, we should have spark. Let's test that theory. Alright, our ignition is on. Let's pull this coil wire. Excellent spark. Okay, sweet. This thing does not crank the best. I don't know what's up with that, but we're gonna hit it with a little juice and see what it does. Alright, for shits and giggles, I'm gonna fill the bowls just in case this thing wants to fire off and run. I'm giving it some fuel to do just that. We've got our fuel line disconnected in case it starts pumping up any fuel from the front. They said the tank needed cleaned. I kind of wonder if that's just it sat for a while and the tank needed cleaned, or if it really does need cleaned. Fuel pump works. Engine works. A little bit of a lifter noise. Hell of a lifter noise over there. Those might pump up. I don't know. How's this feel? It doesn't smell bad. If it's marine fuel, it's probably not ethanol and it'll probably run just fine. So let's hook this up and see what happens. Idling! It's idling! Just like that! And we got oil pressure in the gauge. Holy shit! We got 40 psi, 1000 RPM, no fuel in the tank. Oh, okay. Come on. You don't want it to idle too long without water in the motor since there's no cooling system unless it's in the lake. Holy crap, that is awesome. Let's figure out the garden hose thing, figure out the cooling system for this, get all that hooked up, start flushing that out, and fire this thing up again. Dude, that sounds gnarly. All right, it took a bit of tuning, but I got it figured out. I've got the hose set just right, where if it sits right there, it feeds it just perfect. As you can see, shaft is a little bit bent. All right, the gas is old as hell and the timing might need moved up a little bit, but we got ourselves a running motor. Looks like the alternator started working. I need to do a little wiring work to get the rest of the stuff up there working. Our water pump system works excellently, and unfortunately it looks like our prop shaft is bent to hell. For now, I guess I'll start cleaning it out because I think the next step is to get ourselves a boat that looks as good as it runs. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day 2 of our $500 boat revival. Today I have a pack of paper towels, a bag of soap and scrub brushes, and most importantly a ladder. So without further ado, let's dive into getting all the poop out of this thing, see if it can look good once again, and then start with all the mechanical problems that are probably the real things we should be dealing with. Morning, Angus.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
What you doing?
I wish I could tell you.
More importantly, what do you think?
It's very 70s. This is straight up a Dodge pickup, but with more comfortable seats.
We're back. It's been a few weeks since we have touched the boat. I think last thing I was doing was attempting to polish it, which just made this side a deeper red, but was a giant pain in the ass, so I don't think we're going to do that anymore. Angus is here now. He's our resident boat expert as well as farming expert. And our goal is to make some more progress on the boat this weekend. Maybe finish it, maybe not, we don't know. If I remember right, we have a tank of old gas that could probably use flushed out, a bent prop shaft, and a steering cable that doesn't turn very well.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah, we have a steering shaft or something that needs oiled. So without further ado, let's set into doing just that.
Ka-chow.
We've played with the rudder back here and it moves just fine. He moves nice and freely, so we don't believe that to be where our restrictions lie. It's either in our rack and pinion under the dash, which it's not.
Nope, that moves great.
What was that noise?
I wouldn't worry about that little guy. Yep, it's the cable.
All right, I guess we'll get the cable oiler and see if we can oil them up. Alright, so it's been a few minutes and a quick trip to town. What we've been doing is disconnecting the cable at that end and oiling it and trying to get the oil to travel down the steering cable to no avail, to minimal avail. What we've done is basically utilize the fact that the rack and pinion is designed like a pipe bomb, and we've put a Schrader valve on. So we're going to put this all back in, and I'll show you when we're in there so it makes more sense. But we're going to fill the cylinder with fluid and hit it with just a touch of air pressure and force all that penetrating oil exactly down to oblivion. Line, down a line to oblivion, which is hopefully over here by the rudder. And we should be able to do that and turn the steering wheel back and forth at the same time, which is the big thing. So that even if it doesn't move down with the air pressure, we can mechanically move it down by moving the wheel, hopefully. Okay, so as you can see, we have our Schrader valve and our cap here, sealed with a rubber washer. It's off like a skid loader, the Schrader valve. Then we have this cylinder, which terminates into the steering cable over the little black line. Our theory is fill up this cylinder and then put pressure in it, and the fluid should hopefully flow down the cable all the way to the rudder, and we can turn our wheel back and forth, kind of oil that all up as we go. If nothing else, it'll definitely force a little atomized lube down the line. So hopefully this works. We have no idea. It's a pretty ingenious idea though, if we do say so ourselves.
But it's full.
Alright, here's the Schrader valve, sir.
Thank you.
Alright, hit her with the air again.
Okay, yeah.
See if we can push her down.
Oh, nope, it just exploded out of the everywhere. Oh God.
I want to say it's helping though.
I don't think we should use air anymore. It's just blowing it out the rack.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just like immediate calamity everywhere.
Well, if nothing else, we can use our Schrader valve as a fill cap to just keep filling that cylinder, and then doing this to slowly but mechanically pump it down that cable. It's a lot better, I'll tell you that. Left feels almost what I'd call normal. Right still got a bit of drag. Imagining driving a boat around on the lake, little turn at a time. That feels about right. I mean, it's still a touch tight, but I'm sure it'll keep freeing up. We'll fill the cylinder again, and
that'll probably do it, because it's not seized. It's not any danger to us. It's just
no, it's a lot better.
Yeah. So if we made an improvement, that'll keep getting better. We'll just keep oiling it every time we go out.
Yep.
Should be good.
All right, on to the prop shaft. All right, now that we've got our steering mostly figured out, it's time to deal with our bent prop shaft. Right now, Angus is up top. He's loosening the jam nuts and the packing. There's a V-seal we'll show you later that's on this shaft. I am taking off these nuts that were hand tight and this prop that was just chilling there. The only thing holding that on was the old cotter pin. Looks like I have a couple set screws right here as well in this collar bearing, and then we're good to take this all off. Put these back on here to protect the threads. Go find an Allen wrench, get that collar bearing loosened up, and pull this whole thing out. Federal Nibral Super Cup. Wonder if that means it's a speedy bastard.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Ye?
Send help.
Best I can do is a fresh bush light there, matey.
Heck, well, you can't drink while you're upside down, kids. Them's the law.
I think some people find a way. They just do it from the other end.
Well, I hated that.
What do we do with the drunken Angus? What do we do with the drunken Angus? What do we do with the drunken Angus? Early in the morning. Put him in the bilge and make him suffer. Put him in the bilge and make him suffer.
I'm trying to loosen this bolt upside down, backwards. Loud noises are too loud. Like how?
Here, I'll put this down and come help you.
I'm a wizard.
Oh, I think you did it.
Oh yeah. Yep, she's free moving now.
You might have to oil up the whole shaft before she comes through the collar bearing. Oh, never mind.
I already did that, so.
Oh, sweet. Well, shit, send it. Yay! Alright, now all we have to do is make that straight somehow. The rod, not Angus. These are, well, I don't know.
Hey. Pretty sure there's camps for that.
So I jokingly said we could use the teak as a straight edge, but yeah, look at that. Holy shit, this thing is bent. There were some pretty good dings in the props that I was able to get my brass drift out, my engineering hammer, and apply some engineering and straighten out. But this we're gonna have to get creative.
Boats and stuff.
Oh, so you did go to that camp. All right, let's figure out.
Wait a minute. What happened to the mirror?
Oh, you knocked the mirror off.
I heard something falling there. I was like, oh, weird. Don't remember putting a wrench up anywhere.
Oh, you broke it.
What?
It's in 3 pieces. What you doing, Angus?
Bending our prop shaft into shape.
Trying to bend it back with the bend pack. Our bend back hydraulic press. If you want to see more of them, they sell lifts and all sorts of goodies. Head to bendpack.com. Back to the calamity that is slow and precise. It's straight. All right,
Yay!
Let's get out of here.
Good morning, everybody. Last night, we finished up straightening up our prop shaft. We got it reinstalled in the boat this morning. I'm about to throw our propeller back on. We still have our keyway, that's excellent. A little more work inside, just making sure our packings are good. Stab our rudder back in, and I think this job should be good. Bing. What is your problem? Are you backwards? But you're not, though. Kevin, your boat's dumb. Alright, we'll just say the propeller's on. It's in there. Good enough. Oh yeah. I can hear the power already. Alright, we will work on stabbing our rudder back in and maybe finding a drain plug. There's a lot of maybes today.
Maybe sinking.
Maybe sinking. Probably sinking.
How's it going, Angus?
Good, and you?
Oh, not too bad. What you doing?
Oh, you know, taking things apart, putting them back together with a hammer.
While he's doing that, I am up under the dash doing a little diagnosis on our key here. As you can see, we have power to our switch, and as you can see, when I turn the key to the start position, I've got power coming out of our switch. So this wire somewhere has an issue, and I need to find that because we're getting power out here but nothing back there at the solenoid. Let's figure it out. All right, been tracing our power issue. I've got power to these connections here. I don't have any power after this area. Doing some searching in that area, I found, believe it or not, a couple yellow wires. Wow. Both of these come out of our main harness, which means it goes from the dash to something right here, makes a connection, and then continues down the harness. So, therefore, my problem is likely whatever sensor is attached to this guy. I'm assuming there's a second neutral safety switch of some kind. Maybe something with this, or who knows. Hold the key and turn this, see if anything happens. Okay, well. Weird. Oh, I think I see what it is. Does this move the throttle still? Is the cable moving?
Oh, it's no.
No? Wait. There?
Oh, there it is.
But it doesn't move the trans. But if I go like this, it moves our trans. So what this does is allows me to give the engine throttle and fire it and rev it without engaging the prop.
Well, that is pretty slick.
So we either need to clean up the contacts on this by moving it back and forth a lot, or remember to hook these together if we have any more problems. Sweet, that's fixed. So since neither Angus nor I really love enjoying being stranded in the middle of a lake, we've decided to open up the front hatch and take a look at our fuel tank. Even though we put some fresh gas in it, we kind of suspect we might still have some bad gas. We also don't have a gas gauge that seems to work. So we're just gonna pop this front cover off, take a look at that fuel tank, see if we can get our gas gauge working, see if we need to flush that thing out. It might be completely full, we have no idea.
So many screws.
There's a ton of screws. At least they let us access it.
Yeah, that's true.
I bet you're right.
I bet you, there ain't nothing under here.
What the shit? Why is this even here? I thought for sure that would have been how you get to the fuel tank.
What? Got to go through the front bulkhead. You know, I probably should have said something, but I didn't think this was going to be it.
I thought for sure, like, oh, if you put an access panel on the front of the boat, that's to access things.
It's for decoration.
I guess while it's up, we'll clean it up a little bit, and we'll put it back on. It is like a leather wrap, so... God, that's dumb. While Angus is buttoning up everything up front, he's been cleaning up that big leather panel and putting that all together. I've been doing some research on our transmission. The reason I've been doing that is because, and I've known this, is that the fact that that hydraulic line right there is an oil cooler on the other side. And just like this one's an oil cooler for the engine, and that's an oil cooler for the trans. And it kind of dawned on me, in order for that to flow oil, there needs to be a pump inside that trans. And that got me thinking, what kind of transmission is that? It would be what I just thought was a manual gearbox, but has a hydraulic pump. The other thing is that on the Paragon Gears tag on top, it says use automatic transmission fluid. So I started doing some research, and it turns out that's actually a hydraulic transmission, in the fact that it is a pressurized oil system that engages clutches, like I think 6 clutch discs for forward, and then a planetary gear set has a reverse band clamp on it for reverse. So it is essentially a forward and reverse automatic transmission, kind of. Now the reason that's important to know is because if you ever get one of these boats that has that Paragon gear drive or a V drive on it back there, know that that's an automatic transmission, and know to check the fluid level before you ever run it and put it in gear. I'm sure even running it dry in neutral is not a good thing, because it's supposed to be a pressurized system at all times. Thankfully, this boat's only been out of the water for a couple years, and that all still has fluid in it. I do need to top it off, but we did no damage to it at all. If you ever get one, do know to check that before you go. Another thing to know is that the V drive itself is water cooled. That will be something that we need to make sure we winterize and check for leaks and whatnot as well. The flow of fluid is in through the bottom of the boat, up through a tube right where that quote-unquote funnel is. That's a lift pump right there. Then he pumps directly into the thermostat housing, which then flows down to our liquid-to-liquid coolers on each side. This side flows into the V drive, and then the exhaust manifold, and then out. That side is into the cooler, exhaust manifold, and out. A lot of hoses in there that will cause a boat to go under if they leak or pop off, so we need to do a good inspection of all that. Fill up our fluid level in the trans. Make sure we get our drive shaft packing under there, which you can't see. Make sure he's tight and good to go on the drive shaft, or prop shaft since we put it back in. And make sure we're not going to sink this son of a gun as soon as we drop it in the water and start heading across the lake. Are we still going to try to get to our fuel tank up front by taking the bulkhead out?
I was thinking about it. Our fuel line, from inspecting it, it's very cracked, it's very dry rotted. I'm concerned that at any point it could just start sucking air and we'll be stranded because of that. Or worse, we'll start filling the boat with gasoline, and then we've got a giant Viking funeral for us, but we're not dead yet. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of that, so I want to just double check that.
Viking funeral slightly out of order.
Cause of funeral.
So yeah, we're just kind of doing some maintenance stuff, checking over last little bits of what could sink or kill us. And once we get all that sorted out, pick our favorite 8-track tape, throw it in, and hit the water, eh?
Right. I'm sure it'll be just that easy.
Surely this can't go wrong. Well, Angus, the fun part is the actual bulkhead you take out to get to the tank.
Yeah.
It's only 4 screws, unlike the 50 you had to do up there. The more you know. Well, that's a good sized tank. Okay, I've got our fuel level selector out of the tank. Doesn't seem to be horribly rusty. Looks to be in pretty okay shape. The float doesn't seem to be full of anything. I think it's foam. We'll have to make sure it still floats. The way these work is they're basically a big ohm meter. As you can see, one side of our fuel gauge, the left side is fed with 12 volts. The right side is just a ground, but it grounds to the top of this. The further down that is, the more ground it will pass through its rheostat back here, and the fuller it is, the less current it will pass as a ground. And that's really just reading ohms of resistance right here on that rheostat that's inside this. So those rheostat contacts can get a little corroded sometimes, or you'll have wiring issues or whatnot, but I don't think we have any wiring issues. Inside our tank, it looks like we have a bunch of really red fuel, and I think those are pickup tubes. I don't really know, I can't see the screen the best, but so we might need to drain that out yet. And I think Angus was onto something. I think we need to replace this line, because as you can see, it probably has a hell of an air leak right there, and it's even a little moist. So we'll get some fuel line and fix all that. So here are the internal components of that rheostat. As you can see, we have wires that are really close together that goes out to wires that are further together, even though there's this little inconsistent gap right there, which might need a little playing with, but that doesn't really matter. The point is, as this arm raises, it sweeps across and has less resistance or more resistance because it has to travel through more or less of those wires from this side to this side because it's got to travel the whole distance. Throwing the multimeter on this and sweeping it, I get readings, but they're a little inconsistent. Sometimes they jump in and out, especially down here at the bottom. So I'm going to adjust this tab and hopefully get some sandpaper on the backside and clean him up. Clean up its sweep a little bit and get all that making better contact, and then we'll be good to put it back in. At that point, assuming our gauge works or I can get it to work, we will have a fuel level sender. How goes it, sir?
Sweaty.
When did it get hot?
I don't know. It wasn't supposed to today. It was supposed to be 75.
Angus has our old fuel drained, as you can see in that tank there. It is not great looking. We have a new fuel line ran all the way back to the motor. We pulled the old one out. It was completely empty. I don't even know how this engine was running. And he went to blow anything left out, and as soon as you blew in it, you heard...
I heard air coming out of every single crack hole down the line. It was just, it was amazing.
Either way, we got a new fuel line in. I'm in the process of putting a ball valve. I gotta go get different size adapters. These are too big. But we're putting a ball valve in the feed line that goes into our lift pump, so that if any of those lines we talked about earlier explode and start just, you know, leaking like a 1-inch water line into this boat, we can just shut everything off. Plus, this gives us the ability to still run the motor with the cooling system shut off if that happens and we need to get back to shore. Whereas, not only would it be naturally leaking as a 1-inch line before, it would be leaking as a 1-inch line under pressure. And this son of a bitch would become one
Submarine.
of the... Yeah, I was just going to say, one of the characters of the movie Down Periscope.
Will she go down? Like a rock, sir.
Easy does it. Don't make a huge mess. I'm gonna say right there. Spot on. Last thing I need to do in this area is put some safety wire on our set screws for our prop shaft, and everything back here is good to go. Angus, I'll tell you what, I worked on Chinooks for 6 years in the Army, and I did some pretty shitty safety wires as far as like terrible places to reach and whatnot.
Okay.
But they have never been this bad.
Oh.
That was a pain in the ass to get to. You can just see it peeking out down there. It's absolutely not done correct to an aviation standard, so if any of my old TIs are watching this, don't worry, this won't fly.
Oh, she'll fly.
Oh, she's
gonna fly.
Either way, let's put the rest of the shit together and hit the lake. What do you say?
All right.
Tell you what, that's a much different color than what we took out. To life with you. She appreciates the fresh fuel. Let's go to the lake. Getting some fuel, putting some nice expensive non-ethanol in it. I'm gonna hold that last gallon because we're putting some Sta-Bil in this. This will help treat, well, we don't have ethanol in this one, but this will basically help keep our fuel fresh for a whole year because boats sit, so this is a good idea.
A quick announcement because I have some great news. Sta-Bil is partnering with us for this video and offering you guys 20% off site-wide. Let's show them the power of the Junkyard Digs family. Head to goldeagle.com and use the promo code Junkyard20.
Well, despite all odds, we made it down here to the lake.
Time now for the real test.
Big, scary, wet one.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm nervous.
I'm so afraid. I've never been more afraid of a boat in my life. The only things that could go wrong is what we did.
Well, see, here's the thing. With a car, it's like, oh, it broke down. You pull over, you ask someone to give you a ride home, it's okay. With a boat, if it decides you're going down, you're going down. With that being said, I will not be taking the big expensive camera. I'm gonna be using my phone, so sorry for any drop in quality. It's just cheaper that way. Let's go see if this son of a bitch holds water. Sorry, holds water out, holds air, technically. Let's go see if it
uses water.
There we go. Sink or swim time, literally.
Oh good, I'm the victim. Oh, this is scary. I'm afraid. 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 Scared. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. There's people everywhere. It's leaking. Pretty bad. Okay. You can't see it down there, but we're taking on water already. Whee!
What do you think, Mr. Sir?
Well, I tightened it up a little bit, but the only way we'll know is to put it back in the water. So I think if we just back this thing down,
Dip our toes in again?
Yeah, just dip the rear end in again. If it leaks, we'll keep tightening until it stops, just until it stops, and then set it there and hope for the best.
We need to tune that packing in. It is a really old wax packing, so we'll see if she holds.
That's a good thing we've got a bilge pump.
Yeah.
It was a steady little stream of water. It wasn't like a massive flood. Yeah. It was not a good start.
Let's try it again.
All right, down we go again. So I think we can get a pretty good vantage point of that seal. You'll be looking at it right there. Sorry for all the shakiness. I saw one drip. So we had like 2 drips. That's it. That's pretty good.
We got more tightening left in it if we need to later.
Yep. So I think I'll give that a quarter turn and then lock the jam nut.
I'll grab the channel locks. We'll bring those with us. Oh, we gotta grab the batteries and all. We didn't pack anything into this yet, did we?
No, we were very poorly prepared. Hey, you think it's gonna rain?
No. You won't believe this. It hasn't rained in months since we sprayed the corn. The corn's like done for. Nope, yep, it's going straight at an angle. It's missing home and hitting specifically where we are right now.
Oh, good.
All right, you ready to see if this son of a bitch sinks and swims officially?
Yes.
All right, good luck.
Oh. All right, little boat. We're going on an adventure. Well, we're floating.
Let's go boating. Or maybe just floating. I don't know yet. We'll see. All right, Angus. This is it. This is for, I don't know, I'm so nervous I can't even remember the thing to say. It's for all the whatevers. Let's see if I can bring this son of a bitch to life. Come on, girl. She's running. All out, looking good. I don't see any leaks. Are you ready?
I guess.
All right, I'll drop it into reverse. Here we go. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, that trans sounds awesome. So I have no reverse steering. This makes sense if you think about how the rudder works. Wow.
So she's making some fun noises.
Noises. Yeah.
That's interesting. It's much quieter now.
That's all. All right, here we go. Oh, it sounds better than forward.
It's working.
It's working. We're moving.
We're boating.
We're boating. $500 boating. Good luck, everybody. All right, I'm gonna do it. A little bit. Still a little vibration there. Change that to a lot of vibration. This shaft's not quite straight after all. Oh, there it turns. It doesn't love turning, I'm gonna say that. No speedometer. Let's just see what she'll do. Sink or swim. not loving it. And of course, this boat's going in.
Oh, just kill it. The whole thing came off.
Is it just the packing?
Yeah.
Oh, that would make sense. Oh, God. Is the pump still running?
Yep.
Oh, no, it was never running, actually. The button was between the contact points.
Oh, geez, the packing's just gone. We gotta get in there.
Okay.
Like, we gotta go. We gotta
Well,
tell that guy to off.
we'll go to the get my boat out of the water side of the dock. You good, Angus?
Side reverse. Really sorry, guys. We're taking on water.
I wasn't thinking. Yeah, thinking. Oh man, F your boat, I don't give a shit. I'll leave you with this. I'll go get the truck.
That's a good idea.
Well, Angus, looks like so far it's a little bit of swim and a whole bunch of sink.
I don't know if that was just that packing that came loose that was making that noise, or if it's like motor noise. We'll just pretend this thing's fully on this trailer.
Time to reassess our plan, albeit a little bit or entirely. Let's go figure it out.
Goodbye, Lake. It's been terrible. All right. Let's figure out what went wrong. Initial assessment, it sucked. Secondary assessment, it got too wet.
Didn't run awesome, not gonna lie. Secondaries came in a little weird or something. Something was a little been better in life. Bunch of noises. I thought we shelled the motor.
Yeah, I thought so too. Turns out, I think it was the packing nuts. I hand tightened them together. Probably should have known that wasn't gonna work.
We totally forgot. We were in so much of a stressy panic that we had, the channel locks are still sitting right there where we intended to use them before we took off. Heck. We have no packing now. It's gone.
No, the packing's gone or burnt or both. But it did run.
Mostly.
It kinda.
I could probably do some engine stuff to the engine to make it engine better.
Probably do some packing stuff to the packings to make it not
Leak.
submarine.
Yeah.
I panicked as I watched the amount of water come in, but judging by how much is in here, we probably could have done the length of the lake. Like, but if it got worse, we would have been really hosed. We put about 4 gallons into this thing just in the 3 minutes it took to get over here and sit at the dock. We definitely budged in front of somebody at the dock who was coming in, and we were like, "Oh, we gotta go." And he was like, "Could you wait?" And we were like, "No!"
Like, he's like, "What the hell?" And Angus is like, "We're sinking." He goes, "Oh, that changes things."
Yeah.
We didn't even turn around and go back because of the packing initially.
No,
it was
we turned around
the
because
engine.
what? It was just running like garbage.
Yeah, the engine went. I thought we lost our rod. The reverse gear did not sound good.
Reverse gears on direct drives, they sound really weird.
Is it
I
the
don't know.
It's
My neighbor has a ski boat, and it makes the most obnoxiously terrible noise in reverse.
It's because of the planetaries.
Yep.
The
And if they're
planetaries
not
do or
helical,
don't
they'll
spin.
make noise.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. Let's not do that anymore.
I think I'm on board with what you just said. Well, she did take on a bit of water. We picked her up, and it was there's a number of gallons back there. Either way, I think that's going to do it for today's episode of Junkyard Digs. Hope you guys liked this episode. If you want to see the boat return, let us know down in the comments. If you want to buy the boat, let me know. junkyarddigs1@gmail.com. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you leave a like and comment below, as well as consider subscribing. Helps the channel grow. Thank you to Angus for all your help. Thank you to Mook and Jesse, everyone who's helped in this episode. We'll see you right here for another episode of who knows what, who knows where, and who knows what we're working on next week on Junkyard Digs. Peace. Yeah. Oh, about died.